So now that it's online, I can transfer over the song to Hotel Room. What is up, guys? It's DJ Rick Webb, and we're back with the third episode of How to Mix for Beginners. In this video, we're going to be talking about dropping it on the one, and specifically, we're going to be mixing tracks, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to mix tracks by dropping it on the one. Quickly, once again, I'd like to give a big shout out to my friends over at Hercules for sponsoring this video tutorial series. Once again, in front of me, we have the Hercules DJ controller Inpulse 300. Very similar controller to what I started out on when I started DJing, except this thing has a lot of tools and features that help make DJing for the first time a lot easier and a lot simpler to learn. So let's jump into it. What is the one? The one is your first beat of your first bar in any phrase. If we recall from the first episode where we learned about beats, bars, and phrases, songs are made up of different sections of phrases. A phrase can either be 4 bars, 8 bars, or 16 bars. Just really depends on the music, genre, and the track that you're playing. If we recall, a phrase normally starts by a significant change in the music. So either some sort of instrumental gets added into the song, lyrics start, etc., something along those lines signify the beginning of that phrase. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be beat matching like we did in episode 2, but we're going to be dropping in the songs so that the ones align themselves together. That way the transition will sound clean. Before I jump into the demonstration, I want to talk about DJ music in general and how we as DJs make transitions a lot easier on ourselves. So on the screen here I have Wannabe by Spice Girls. Very popular song to play at weddings, and I can normally play it at some school dances as well. So the normal Wannabe by Spice Girls that you would download from iTunes starts like this.
Yo, tell me what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
As you can see, it's jumping right into the song. So it jumps right into the songs, and if you can think about mixing those two songs, you're going to be overlaying lyrics over a beat of another song, or it could get really complicated. So now let me show you what the intro outro edit, and actually this is actually a redrum of this song as well. A redrum basically creates a new beat behind the song. That's besides the point. This is also an intro outro edit, as you guys will hear. And basically an intro outro edit has a bit of instrumental music before and after the song, making it easier for you to do beat match transitions. So here's the intro outro edit. As you can see, we just have an instrumental play. It's got a little bit of a build on it. As you guys know, when something happens, it's going to be a transition. And if you guys actually looked on the screen there, that was actually 8 bars. And as you guys noticed, there was a change in the music signifying the next phrase, basically. So we had an 8-bar intro phrase, and then we started the first phrase of the lyrics. And if we go to the end of the song here, and we press play, we have yet again another instrumental, making it easier for us to mix it into that next song. So that is why DJ pools are so important for DJs, because they have these intro and outro edits that you can't get on iTunes and stuff like that. I'm going to make a whole video on the DJ pools that I like, the ones that I use, etc. in a separate video. Just know that I highly recommend you guys get a DJ pool to make your life 1,000 times easier when it comes to mixing your music. Okay, so now let me demonstrate how this works using intro and outro edits and how we're going to do a transition with these two songs right here. So loaded up on deck 1 we have I Got a Feeling, and on deck 2 we got Hotel Room Service by Pitbull. Both these are intro and outro edits. Hotel Room is actually a mini mix or a short edit version, which we'll kind of talk more about in episode 4 when we're going to be talking more about how to speed mix. So I'm going to jump right into doing this, and I'm going to kind of walk through as I'm doing it what all I'm doing. So if I'm adjusting the BPM, etc., stuff like that. One thing to notice when you practice this is to either have a monitor so you can hear your master output, or what I do, like I've said before, is I use my headphones and I have the master volume turned on right here so that I hear in my headphones what the master output is. And then the song that I'm queuing up, I can press the headphone button to listen to the song that I'm queuing up to make sure the beat's online, stuff like that. So I got a feeling it's playing right now. It's playing out on the main speakers, it's playing everywhere. On my second deck where I have Hotel Room queued up, right there I got my 1. So I do notice that this is off beat right now. So I'm actually going to be listening to the song that's playing right now, which is I Got a Feeling, and I'm just going to kind of do what I did in the second episode where I just align the 2 beats to make sure my BPM is correct when I adjust my tempo/pitch faders. So I'm just going to drop this in, Rand. I notice I'm off. I'm going to use the red lights here to help me get to the right point. This is all in my headphones. It's not playing out to the main speakers at all. Okay? I know that song is perfectly on beat now. That song is perfectly on beat and ready to go. So I'm going to fast forward that back to the end here, back to our first beat, and now I'm ready to drop this in. I'm ready to drop this in whenever I want on this song. What I'm going to do is, though, I'm going to wait until my outro starts. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this song so you guys can hear it. Our outro's going to start right here. You're going to hear it. That's where our outro started right there. That was the first beat of the outro. So the outro starts right there. So right here. That is the start of the outro. That is also where I want to drop the first beat of this song in at the beginning. So I want to drop those at the same time, and then using my headphones, well, I'm just going to show you. I'm going to demonstrate it, and you guys are going to listen and hear what I'm doing. So once again, I Got a Feeling is playing. I'm going to hold it down on my jog wheel, press the play button, so that I'm queued up, ready to go to mix in this song whenever. Again, I'm listening in my headphones to this, not playing it out the speakers. So I'm going to drop it in here. Here we go. 1, 2. And I'm a little bit off. So now that it's online, I can transfer over the song to Hotel Room. See how we're doing that? And then maybe I can cut the low over here. Maybe filter out of it. And that's all it is right there. So again, this is a basic, simple way to do the transition, is to basically start your transition at the outro and transition into the next song during the outro of the original song using the intro of the new song. One thing you're going to want to note though is I was actually pretty much guessing how many bars I had to play with on either end of those songs. I didn't necessarily know if I had 8 bars or 16 bars to play with on the outro of I Got a Feeling. I didn't really know if I had 8 bars or 16 bars to play with on Hotel Room. 8 or 16 bars is normally the typical standard that you'll get off of DJ pools for an intro and outro edit. Rarely you'll get a 4-bar intro outro edit. Normally it's 8 or 16 bars. But I was guessing. I was kind of just guessing along. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to have some pre-planning for your tracks. The easy one to do is the song that you're queuing up is to just listen to it while the song that's currently playing, listen to it and count how many bars you have to mix into. But what's hard to do is the song that's already playing is to figure out how many bars you're going to have coming up to mix out of if you haven't already listened to it. This is where knowing your music, knowing your tracks, knowing your intro and outro edits, how many bars you have, comes into play. Now there's the easier way to do that and to know how many bars you're going to have, and that's by using cue points. And I'm going to specifically dive into that in episode 4 and kind of show you guys how you can use cue points to make your life even easier when it comes to mixing and how it allows you to speed mix. I want to show you guys one more demonstration in this video where we're going to actually do 2 more songs, but instead of starting the song that we're mixing into at the outro, we're actually going to start it before the outro even starts. That way when the lyrics of the song playing on deck 1 end, the lyrics on deck 2 start. as you can think about someone out on the dance floor, if you did what I just did there, I Got a Feeling ends, and then there's just a beat. You're just dancing, you're like, alright. And then you slowly mix into the next beat, and the person on the dance floor is like, alright, something new's coming, something new's coming. It's coming, it's coming. And there it is. Versus if we had it where I Got a Feeling when it just ended, like the lyrics went, woo, and then it went, meet me at the hotel room, just jumped right into it, the person instantly is like, oh, heck yeah, just jumps right into the next song. So it's a little bit quicker transition, and it's something we talk more about in speed mixing, but I want to show you guys a demonstration just for general songs. So for this demonstration, we're going to actually jump down to 100 BPM, so that way I give you guys a different BPM demonstration. But we're going to be using Freaky Friday, the dirty intro version, of course, because we're playing at the club and we can play bangers that are dirty. So we're going to be in a situation where we're playing a new kind of banger hit, and we're going to throw it old school real quick, and we're going to hit them with Party Up by DMX. But before we hit this demonstration, we're going to do a little bit of pre-planning here, and we're going to pretend like we're at home, like right here, and we're practicing this transition right here. So we're going to look at how many bars of the intro we have, how many bars of the outro we have, and where we need to start this song so that the transition is seamless. Now I chose Party Up by DMX to show you guys something important that you need to take into note with any DJ software. And that is that it is not perfect. And this is not just for DJUCED, this is for any DJ software out there. As you guys will note, this is our one, like we've learned about in episode 1. That is the one of this song. This right here is our 2. It's that high-pitched snare sound. The software, if you guys notice with the bar counter right there, says that this is the 1 of the song. That's not correct. This is actually our 1, so the bar counter is actually off by 1 beat. And I did this on purpose just to point out to you guys that you really need to focus on learning your basics, learning how to count music, because you cannot 100% rely on software once you get out into the field. You cannot rely on it 100%. It is a great tool to teach. It is a great tool to help you learn. Like I said, this doesn't happen with every song. It happens from time to time though, and you have to know the basics of how to mix, how to count your bars, how to count your beats, know your phrases, so that way when you do come across these songs, you can beat a line them correctly because you already know how to do it without the help of the software. So since the beat counter is off on this song, we need to actually know how many bars we have to mix into. So now let's quickly count out, and you guys can count along at home just like we did in episode 1, of how many bars of this intro we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, and... So right there we have an 8-bar intro. So now let's listen to the song that we plan on transitioning out of into Party Up in here. So we got the Freaky Friday. Obviously this is an intro track, so we could have done a clean transition beforehand, but it also means it has an outro. So if we fast forward here to the end,
The inner workings of a woman.
so right there at the end of that song, where it says inner workings of a woman, we have the outro starting. So now instead of starting the first beat of the first phrase in Party Up in here where the intro starts, where the outro starts on Freaky Friday here at this first beat, instead where the outro starts in Freaky Friday, we're going to start the first beat of the second phrase, which is where we hear that come on, dun, 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 dun. That's where we want to start it. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go back 8 bars into Freaky Friday to note where we need to start this track. Now to determine where the 8th bar is, you can do in a lot of different ways. You can use the software and look back 8 bars. Like we said, that's not always 100% correct. Over time, you'll be able to just naturally know where that is because you'll be able to determine where the beginning and end of phrases are, which is a crucial thing to look at. And normally you can use your waveguide kind of as a little bit of an assistant in determining where this is. So as you can see right here, it looks kind of uniform, and then there's little dips. Normally those little dips are where different phrases start. So I'm going to click right about here, and I'm going to listen to it, and I'm going to see if this sounds right about where I think this should be.
What the fuck again?
So actually right there is the beginning of a new phrase. So if we listen right here, there's not much of an instrumental to start, and then you'll see that an instrumental will kick in, showing you that there's the beginning of a phrase here. And again, this phrase could be 8 or 16 bars, we don't really know. So if we listen right here,
it's way less cool than being Chris Brown was. What the fuck again?
Right there, this is the first beat of this phrase. So I'm actually going to make a hot cue real quick. So now I fast forwarded back in the song, and I found the beginning of a phrase that's somewhere close to the end of the song. Again, I don't know if this is 8 or 16 bars. I don't know if there maybe is another phrase in between this and the end of the song. I'm kind of just taking a guess. And like I said, this will take practice over time, and this is pre-planning. I can't pretend a pre-planning that you do prior to going out to the gig to determine where your transition points are at. Like I said, we'll talk more in detail on how you do this in the next episode. We're going to count out how many bars we have in this phrase if it starts at the outros. And I'm going to put a little bit of a filter on here for copyright reasons on this video. So here we go. 1, 2. Perfect. So we have successfully determined that the phrase prior to the outro is 8 bars, meaning that we can start the beginning of this song right at the beginning of that phrase, so that when the transition happens at the beginning of the outro, the lyrics start on this track. So now let me actually demonstrate that for you guys. Once again, in this demonstration, we got Freaky Friday already playing. It's playing on our master output. It's playing out to our monitor speaker. And what we're going to want to do now is in our headphones, like before, we're going to want to beat match these two songs before we drop it in on the one. So, I'm going to randomly play this song. Okay, so we're ready with our BPM. We're ready on the one right here. Now, this is going to be more like a little bit of a pro-end transition for you guys, just to show you guys what I do. On the song that I'm mixing into, I'm going to cut the low, and then you guys will see that I'm going to swap the lows midway through the transition, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a high-pass filter and a little bit of a backspin into the next song. Again, this is just a little bit more of a pro-end transition. So we're coming up on our cue point, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, this is lining up in our headphones.
Why am I yelling?
Now I'm going to bring the crossfader over. Now it's playing out together. Swap the lows at the 4-bar point. A little bit of a high-pass filter in the song we're going to. Alright, and here we go. I'm going to do a little bit of backspin. And then I can cross over. So again, that's another way to do a transition. It's a way to keep the lyrics flowing, keep the beat going. So by the lyrics just ending on Freaky Friday, and then we jump right into Party DMX with the come on, ba, da, 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 that everyone knows, we're basically going into it a little bit quicker, and it's more of a slam transition, but we were beat matching prior to that, so the transition was a lot smoother. One thing with messing around with the lows and the high pass filters, that's stuff that you can basically figure out song to song what sounds better. I typically do the low basically on every song. The backspin is different, just depends on what song I'm playing and if I think that's going to sound good or if I've done it before and it sounded dope. A lot of times on that song, actually, when it's about to go to the come on, right as it's about to hit come on, I slam it to the right. So basically right at that first beat of that first bar in that second phrase where he says come on, normally I'm slapping it over, so basically the beat stops over here and it goes, come on, which is another reason why I go ahead and I cut the low on this deck so that we're already partially out of this track, and I put a high pass filter on it so that we're even more out of this track, so it's more in the background so I can do that transition better. Like I said, I'm going to be talking more in depth on that exact type of transition in episode number 4 when we talk about how you optimize the fact that you have these hot cue points to make your life 1,000 times easier when it comes from mixing in track to track to track to track, and how you can also optimize all of that along with using short edits and some clever tricks that you can find in DJ pools to do speed mixing. So anyways guys, again, I hope this video was super helpful. This was dropping it on the 1, showing you guys how I do transitions and how you can do some basic transitions and practice your beginner transitions. Once again, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Hercules, for sponsoring this video tutorial series. If you want to check out the DJ controller Inpulse 300 that I've been using this whole entire series and I will continue to use in episode 4, it is linked in the description down below. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to this YouTube channel, be sure to click that subscribe button. And guys, like always, my name is DJ Webb. Keep them records spinning, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. I can't reach. Got it.